Would you please welcome Jennifer? We never get this. You should come every night.
Yeah. Cheers, darling.
Cheers, sweeties.
Cheers.
I'm feeling a bit left out with this.
Well, so is the entire rest of the country that's not having one, so you're not alone. Congratulations on the film.
Thank
you. You had the premiere last night. How did you go? Did you have a good time?
It was fantastic. It was really beautiful.
We saw some pics. It looked like you were having a rocking time. There was one with a big lot of bosoms and a I don't know what was going on.
That was not us.
What's going on there?
Look at that.
They were terrifying. They were terrifying.
I couldn't help but wondering, just thinking about the premiere, are you, given this film, are you meant to go to that sort of thing in character?
No.
Or do you go as yourself?
We go as ourselves. We kind of overdress. We put on far too much makeup and sort of... But the drag queens are always much better versions of the characters. They have better legs.
Now, the fact that the film got made, is it a result of a bet with
It's
Dawn
not the
French?
result of it. Yeah, she did bet me that I wouldn't write it.
Like, it was some... Sorry, Dawn French. It was some ridiculous amount.
100,000
£100,000?
Yep.
That you wouldn't write it?
Yeah. But she wouldn't pay me. I just had to pay her if I didn't.
Oh, that's
it
pretty
was
crap.
a one-way bet. But it was... Joanna had already announced it to the press, even before I knew about it.
It's taken so long, you know. We've been talking about this movie since 1995. And so it was a little bit slow off the ground. And I thought if I just said it to the press and it became reality. And then Jennifer loves a deadline. So it was really a caring thing to do.
When you were writing the movie, writing the characters, did it all come back very easily to you, or did you have to even go back and watch some, or did you...?
No, it's really easy. They're so close to us. Terrifyingly close now.
Yeah.
But, no, they make us laugh, so they're always there. Thereabouts.
And also, be honest, Jennifer, the first thing you said was, where should we go? So we said the south of France. So that sort of was pivotal in how the story was going to work.
No, that's true.
Like, you got in the premise, you know, of Eddie accidentally killing, and I'm not giving this away, it was in the trailer, Kate Moss. Did you have a backup plan if Kate Moss was like, nah, no?
I nearly forgot to ask Kate Moss. I mean, it was like, it was touch and go.
That would have been an awkward day on set.
Yeah.
Kate Moss isn't there.
Sorry, so at what point did you get a yes from it?
Oh, from Kate?
Yeah.
Oh, by the time I'd sold the film. and so they said, is Kate all right with it? And I said, yeah, she's fine. And I went home and I thought, I haven't asked her. So I had to, like, get on the blower.
There's some great cameos in here. You got Barry Humphries and Rebel Wilson. Barry Humphries, for a moment I thought, is it?
I know.
His was a great character. And Rebel Wilson,
fabulous.
How could she?
Yeah. She was on the very last day. She's so busy now that she just managed to find a little tiny sort of crack in her schedule. And she just slipped in.
Yes. Tiny crack.
I mean, both of you, I mean, you're iconic. These are iconic comedy characters, you know. When you first wrote the series and you thought, OK, I need to find a funny model, which doesn't seem it would be easy. How did that come about, that, you know, Joanne?
Well, I'd been an actress for about 40 years by then, so I'd sort of left modelling, which was pretty shabby anyway. I was a very poor model. Very indifferent. No, I was just pathetic. I wasn't good-looking enough.
You're a very good-looking model, I might say.
Oh.
I'll tell you what, like, just a little bit of champers comes on the set.
That's the wannabe sailor coming in.
How did it come about?
Jennifer hadn't thought of me, really, originally, but it was a mutual friend of ours who suggested me. So I wasn't really first choice. I wasn't really a choice. I mean, I've got over that now, but...
Was it love at first sight? Like, was it straight off the bat?
No, because you don't... Until Joanna brought Patsy to the part, you know, so...
Right.
And once I could see how she was going to be funny and what she was going to do with Patsy. Then you start writing it, and we had a laugh.
Know she was going to do what she was going to do with Patsy? Quite extraordinary.
I mean, it was brilliant.
Well, did you know what you were going to do with Patsy?
No, because you invented. But, I mean, she'd written down some lines, and I didn't know... I mean, when we first met, I didn't know how she wanted it to be played. So I just feebly sort of tried to do stuff. And this one, in those days, she's got a lot better. We trained her up a bit. But she was like a sphinx with a headache. You couldn't read anything in her face, just like that. And I went back to my agent and said, I don't think she likes me, I better get out of this. But anyway, lucky my agent just said, it's a pilot. Probably won't go.
And here we are. Now,
Yeah,
we have to take a break, sadly, but we will be back with Joanna and Jennifer shortly. Don't go anywhere.
Saunders and Joanna Lumley. Now, we put the call out to our viewers to share with us their favourite ab-fab moment.
Okay.
Obviously, everyone's different. Someone said the mother-daughter shoot you guys did. Someone else said when you went to France and stayed in the workers' quarters by mistake. But Sonia Abbott's favourite moment was this one. I want that help!
What do you want? What are you doing to her?
That's taking my friend to hospital. She's sick.
She wants to know, was that inspired by... Had you had a run-in with police and you wanted to take it to the screen, or...
But they just always end up falling over and drunk. I think drink driving is probably their least crime, I think.
Yeah.
Do you find it a bit like with Faulty Towers that people come up to you in the street and say, I loved that time when you did that?
Yeah, and we generally can't remember what they're talking about. So it's quite hard.
I'm sure can't remember it either.
I haven't seen that bit since we did it.
Really? Oh, really?
No,
Yeah,
which was
really
about 24 years ago. It's extraordinary, isn't it?
Well, so Patsy and Eddie are obviously in the world of fashion and PR. What is it about that world that you so clearly latched onto as being ripe for mocking? Why did you want to mock it so mercilessly?
I don't think we mock it that bad.
Oh, come on. Yes.
I don't. I think we look at it with affection. But it was because in the 90s, it's when brands became sort of available to everybody. You know, everyone knew what Gucci was, everyone started to know what Prada was, and that's what we sort of latched onto, the idea that it's about a name. You're literally the walking billboard for Chanel if you got the T-shirt, you know? Everyone's names, brands. And that was what we thought was funny.
Actually, the only people who are really mocked are us. We're the idiots in this, you know. The products are beautiful. You know, Patsy saying, you look great, what is it? And she says, La Croix. And you go, oh, well, it's fabulous, because it looks just horrific, she thinks.
Yeah, it's got a name on it.
Have you got a lifetime supply of Bollinger? Because clearly you must have put Bollinger on the map.
We can't move without bumping into some. It's lovely. It's really nice.
Yes.
It's one of the perks. It's honestly one of the perks.
But you know what I couldn't help thinking about when I was watching the film? Was as you're skewering all these publicists, how did your publicist for this film feel? Like, what do they make of this?
I don't have one, so it doesn't matter.
I heard something, I probably should have checked this before I came on air, but was Bananarama an inspiration behind the original idea?
Well, only because they were heavy drinkers. And,
oh, really?
Yeah, Bananarama in the 80s were drinking vodka when no one was drinking vodka. But they would regularly, you know, neck a bottle of vodka. And I once saw one of them getting out of a taxi backwards and landing on her arse. And I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. And I thought, we've got to use that.
She landed on her Venus, I guess. Still easy. Joanna, now you were on social media recently, but you gave up social media on Twitter, because I saw a tweet where you basically dropped the mic and resigned, like, basically.
Well, I'd never went on to it. My agent said, you have to be on it. And I said, I don't know what it is. So she said, well, you do things like saying, I'm in America, and no, I'm not in America, I've come back. So eventually I said, look, I think we can just stop it now. Yeah.
It's my food.
I didn't do it, so I never wrote a thing on it or anything.
So did you write that or not?
No.
It was the...
No, I actually didn't. I've never even seen that before.
But in the film, a lot of the film is, you know, about the new Insta models and the Insta world and all of that. Do you partake in it at all? Like, I know the Twitter thing, but do you enjoy it? Or do you just find it a complete and utter waste of time? Like,
I think when we're not doing ab fab, we live very dull little lives. You know, we potter around the garden, and we're both grandmothers, so we have a very different kind of existence.
But when it's time, you start hoarding in everything that's recent and who's who and who's what. And I'm obviously a bit lagging behind Jennifer here. Obviously, still no idea. But anyway, it's very exciting.
Must be a refreshing thing.
The real world.
Yeah, she's not knowing what's going on.
All right, we've got so much more to talk to you about. We've got to take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
We're here with the stars of that Jennifer Saunders and Joanna Lumley.
Now, you've got quite the broad fan base, but I was hearing, and I'm not sure if this is along with is a rumour and not necessarily true fact, that you got invited to a Donald Trump party once because he was a massive fan. Is that true?
He was visiting London. This was about 20 years ago. And because in Absolutely Fabulous, Patsy had declared that she was she admired Ivana Trump. Yeah. It was sent to me that Donald wanted to see this woman who thought she looked like Ivana Trump. Anyway, we weren't doing the show at the time, so I quickly stuffed my hair up a bit, put on some red lipstick and went along to the party and stood in front of him. And he just Donald just looked me up and down. His nice wife, Marla, at the time, said, "Oh, I think you're wonderful, you're great," and everything. And Donald just walked away, and I took my hair down and went away. Claim to be exactly like that with him.
Well, that's probably a good thing.
His current wife, Melania, apparently there's been some nude...
name.
I don't want to be sleazy here, but... nude pictures have turned up of Melania in the New York Post. Patsy got any worries about that in her background?
Oh, yeah, plenty. She looks them out. She throws them at people. They don't want them.
That's probably the least embarrassing thing about Donald Trump right now.
Patsy was in porn movies. Patsy was in porn movies.
Which were directed by Barry Humphries playing Charles in the old days.
Bubarella. We did one where she was in Bubarella. It's all been... She suffocated men with her boobs.
It's fair to say I wasn't expecting to hear the word Bubarella tonight, but there you go. Joanna, you alluded to your modelling previously, so this was in the 60s, the sort of swinging time.
Yeah.
And you said you were no good at it, but is it true you got deportment training as part of this modelling thing?
Oh, wow.
That's the New Avengers. That's me acting, darling. That's me sitting for Patrick Litchfield in the New Avengers.
But you're managing to balance your hand on your head.
I know, I'm holding my head on, darling. It's actually a stunt double, and she's just holding my head in place.
Oh, look.
Oh, that was my first play on stage in Canterbury. No, these are not modelling.
In Canterbury?
No, I had to go on the roof.
But did you take skills... You must have taken skills from modelling into your acting.
Yes, you do. Funnily enough, you do. And clever little Kate Moss. Thing is, you know what the cameras are like. You know when you're being lit well. I don't know what else. You sort of learn to endure hardship because models' lives are hard. And little Kate Moss having to come out of the Thames in the freezing November.
Did you really go in the Thames?
Yeah.
Yes.
I wondered whether somehow there was someone else in there and then she crawled out.
And I tell you, the Thames, anyways, but in November, a little girl just came out with a smoking cigarette and a glass.
She was fine.
Yeah. She was sweet, wasn't she? Yeah.
Jennifer, we had Dawn French on the show recently, of course.
How appalling.
Oh, no, it was... We got through it. It was OK. It was OK in the end. Now, I read that you two have never had an argument. Now, we interviewed her for a few minutes and we had an argument about Cornish pasties. That's right. So I'm not sure how you got through...
I might have an argument with her about a pasty.
Yeah.
Oh, dear God, yes.
But how do you not have an argument? Like, tell us
because
about that
it's about... you compromise. What's the point in having an argument in a double act?
So you
have to work together. There's no point.
Yeah.
No point. You compromise. If we disagree on a joke or anything, we just move on past it. And that way we stay friends and we stay working together. Win-win.
So when you say you move on, do you just come up with a new joke or do you...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That's the thing about Pat's
solo
head,
act.
isn't it? That the central to these characters is you're great friends.
That's right.
And you'll watch each other's backs all the time.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Who's the bad
she
influence
pushed
in your
Kate Moss
life?
in the river and you're the one who had to take the
Very
fault.
cross with her, though. She's very cross with her.
I was quite cross for a bit, but, you know, it didn't last because I could suddenly remember Charles, Barry Humphries, and his money.
So do you think they're better or worse for each other being together?
Oh, they're terrible. But, I mean, they wouldn't survive. They are virtually one person, you know, so they wouldn't survive on their own.
No.
at all.
You'd be repulsed if you met them, really.
I know, people often say this, I want to be great to go for a drink with them. You go, no.
Never.
You did just say at the beginning they were very much like you guys.
Yeah.
So
They only think about themselves all the time. Only themselves.
We'll join all those dots then. Absolutely Fabulous, the movie, is in cinemas from Thursday. It's been so great to have Jennifer Saunders and Joanna Lumley. Please thank you.